Wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup. Don Juan.
Welcome in.
What's up?
Episode 99.
Episode 99, man. One more.
Talk to you. It'll be 2023.
Yup.
And it'll be episode 100.
100. The 100th episode. Not next week, because we'll be taking a day off, but the start of 2023, our 100th episode will be live, which is awesome for a little thing that me and Oscar started way back in the day, and Nick, and then put it on hold, and then came back during COVID. Many switchings of the title of the podcast master. Now it's in Don's hands. But it's so awesome to be back full-time with Don every week. And, it's been a fun journey. Fun thing happened this weekend. I surprised Don, came up and visited Don out of the blue.
At the house.
I just showed up with puppy treats because it's what I do.
Hey, Rich, if there was ever a welcoming committee for a new animal, man,
it's what we got to do, man.
You came fully loaded, stocked to the gills with puppy treats and everything ready to go. And I have nothing but it was really cool because for most people that may not know, that's the first time that Rich and I have ever actually met in person.
Yeah.
So
we're both the same people on and off the show, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's always a good time. I got to sit down, I got to meet Don, the kids, awesome kids, good conversations all around. We had a lot of fun. Chris, what's up, buddy? Happy holidays, my friend. Merry Christmas to you, my boy. Thanks for supporting us, Chris, over the year and years to come. We appreciate you. But yeah, we had a great time. Just, sat there, watched the Vikings blow the game.
Right?
And the Colts blow the game because that's
because when you left, they were up 33-0.
Yeah,
and then I fell asleep and woke up and it was tied at.
Yeah, it was pretty hilarious because I honestly didn't think that would happen, but yes, yet again, the Colts being the Colts. So,
right,
here's where we are. So yeah, we have big news we're going to talk about. Drop it real quick on you guys. First and foremost, everybody at Belly Up, thank you so much for your support over this past year. We truly appreciate everything you guys did for us and putting us on and extending us out to, essentially the world. We are forever grateful for the time that we have spent at Belly Up. But, our time it's time for us to go and, back kind of to our roots. Like the thing that me and Don talked about the most was we love the outpour of support from the Belly Up Network. But
they've been insanely helpful in terms of trying to give us some insight into how to grow and how to branch out and how to the ins and outs of the business doing it. It just and like Rich was saying, the thing for us was trying to get back to something that was more Philly sports centric. It had nothing to do with any. It has been an incredible experience with Belly Up, and truly thankful for the opportunity to be able to have the chance to start to grow our stuff. And but Rich, we look forward to the next step in our adventure.
Yeah.
Which is joining, the fired up guys, and looking to grow that Philly sports network into, something that we can be proud of. So, looking forward to working with Mike and Tom and the guys over at Fired Up, and we'll just keep growing.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's nothing but love from belly up, you know, it's nothing but love to them and that whole community. It's just me and Don are, we're small town Philly guys. And it's, we're just going back to the roots of why we started this podcast and, getting back with some friends and, trying to grow something else. Again, thank you to everybody at Belly Up. We truly appreciate it. Everything has been awesome, and I can't thank you all enough. Support us over at the Fired Up Network. That's where you can find us for our 100th episode. But on to the show. Don, Eagles took care of business. It was a little scary against the Bears.
It was a little bit. But listen, Rich, 13-1. Like we're rolling here now. There is a big asterisk that came out of this game that came out afterwards, which we'll talk about in a minute. But talk about a game where they were very resilient. The beginning of the game had a lot of reminders of that Washington game.
Yep.
But it never flipped.
No.
So the thing that I saw was like they won a game again, truly, really, that they really didn't have any business winning.
No. I mean, the offense didn't look that great. Defense just, couldn't stop Justin Fields. Justin Fields was just having his way with his legs.
Yeah.
Not so much with his arm because, I looked at it this to me was a trap game before. Once I saw Chase Claypool was out, I knew Mooney was out. I'm like, man, this is a trap game because you're going to get Justin Fields fired up. He's explosive. He can kill you with his legs. And he was killing us with his legs. I wasn't so worried about the receiving work because I think their top pass catcher was like 1 for 31. So I knew our corners were going to lock it down, but I was worried. Then the offense looked stagnant. I mean, Miles Sanders, his late run in the fourth quarter was I think he had 5 rushes, which is absolutely insane. I don't know what Sirianni was doing. I wasn't a fan of, okay, they're running the quarterback draw, so we'll run the quarterback draw. It wasn't a game plan that I wanted to see. I wanted to see a more Miles Sanders heavy because, I mean, you suffer the consequence of, Jalen Hurts being questionable this week to play. Not a huge fan of all the designed quarterback runs. I mean, you're at the point in your schedule where you just need to win games. Mm-hmm. So control the clock, get everybody healthy. If you have to, platoon your running backs as you've been doing, keep everybody healthy, run the ball, make sure everybody comes out unscathed, and you're good. That should be our game plan going forward.
Right.
As much as I want to crush Dallas with Jalen Hurts, if he's not healthy, that's fine. I think Gardner Minshew getting first-team reps this week, if he is in practice, which he should be, is going to be sufficient enough to beat this Dallas team. I see Dallas fans talking a lot of shit, and it's more or less, they think that their team is substantially better than ours. And I don't think that is even true. I've seen all the holes that Dallas has. I've seen them play poorly against 3 teams back to back to back. It's just, it makes me laugh when I see overconfident Dallas fans because I'm not overconfident about this game. I know Dallas can be a challenge, but let's be real. I don't see the Eagles losing in Dallas. It may be close, but I don't see the Eagles losing in Dallas. I will never say that. I don't care if the Eagles lose every single game on the fucking season. You beat Dallas twice.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of right along there with you. Like I think that the team around Gardner Minshew, if he is the guy that has to go on Saturday, is significantly better. It's a better supporting group than. I know there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of analogies back to that 17 season when Foles came in. The difference between those two scenarios is that the team around the quarterback is significantly better.
Yeah.
Like this is a wide receiving group that is going to have 2,000-yard receivers by the end of the season. You already got one. You're going to have you already have a 1,000-yard rusher. You're getting Dallas Goedert back. If you can focus on the things that Gardner Minshew does well and don't put him in positions to have to make plays with his legs. And I think looking at the game plans that we've seen throughout the season, I think you're going to see Sirianni design a game plan that is going to be to take advantage of what Gardner Minshew does well, which is get the ball out. I mean, he is a professional quarterback. He is not like a Bobo guy that you're really, really worried about throwing away the season. Like he's a guy that has shown it in his career that he can come in and he can be a game manager. He can be a guy that's going to come in and not gunsling it all around, but like also not sit in the pocket and like dink and dunk all day. I think he sees that he can get the ball to AJ Brown. He can get the ball to Devontae Smith. He knows that those weapons are there. And I think there has to be an emphasis now that you know that you're not going to have that quarterback, the rushing yards from that quarterback. I think you're going to see more of a focus on running the ball. I think you look at now listen, Dallas, like if I'm the Eagles, I'm going at Micah Parsons and I'm not letting him come to you.
Yeah.
Because if you let him come to you, he will destroy your day.
Yeah. You have to run at him. But I think Lane Johnson is also going to make him his son because of look at the past and, DeMarcus Lawrence. What the Jay, don't be popping on it like 18 minutes late, you goofball.
My computer died.
No, my computer died.
I was trying to click in. I'm like, and my computer was shut off. And I messaged you guys, but you probably didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jay.
No worries, brother.
What's up, dude?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. Did you hear about me and Don linking up this weekend? I surprised Don at his house.
You guys hung out.
Yeah, man.
He just showed up at my door with dog treats.
No, that is pretty cool, man.
I was like,
that's more than cool.
Don's like looking at me like, I'm like, I got these for the dog. And he's like, you want to come in? I'm like, yeah, I do. I mean, I can come here and just drop off dog treats. I was texting. Me and Don had a really nice talk. Me and Don had a really nice talk after last show. And I'm like, you know what? I got to go hang out with Don. I'm like, it's time. So I messaged Boss Lady because obviously you always message Boss Lady. So I was like, hey, are you guys going to be around this weekend? I want to come up and I want to hang out with you guys. I want to meet Don. I'm like, it's been too long. And she's like, oh, I'm working, but they're getting the puppy on Saturday. So he will definitely be home. And she's like, I'll tell him he has to get the dog by 10. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to get there around 1. So I roll up, I park in his driveway like a dickhead. I can't believe he didn't notice this bright blue Jeep pulling into his driveway. And I'm like looking, I see 3 doors. I'm like, I'm going to go to the front door because it's open. And I knock and I see the puppy. And then Don's like, I'm like, what's up, dude? Got these for the dog. And his daughter Jane was in on it. She's like, yeah, my mom told me. And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is awesome. But no, it was just funny because it was like, it was a good surreal moment for me and Don because obviously, like, Jay, you're next. I'll probably just show up at your house with dog treats. It's just what I'm going to do. If Joe even has a dog, I'm just going to be like, hey, Joe, some dog treats.
We got dogs.
He's got 3.
Well, then it's going to be great. I just have to get more dog treats. But no, it was a fun moment.
It was cool.
We should all have a get together, honestly. Like, I honestly, I think it's so cool that like podcasting in general, like I started podcasting in 2020, like right at the height of COVID, right when it like literally was like in its like infancy. It was, I guess, May of that year. And since that time, I've made so many like friendships just through podcasting, like legit friendships, like people that are like awesome people, like obviously you and Don are at the top of that list, and like we still haven't, obviously it's just hard because everyone's busy with their lives, and COVID really was crazy and out of control, even up until I'd say 8 months ago, like.
It's
really,
still,
it's still there.
Don't let them fool you. It still is. I'm dealing with it at work. Right now.
But I guess the point I'm making is people weren't really allowed to see each other now.
Oh, of course.
Obviously a lot more safe. But like, honestly, like there's just so many cool people that you met. And like, I don't know if that would have ever transpired had I not started a podcast. Because I mean,
Yeah.
you still meet people, but like I don't go out much, so I have a better chance of meeting people on a podcast than I do of going out because I hardly ever go out.
Yeah. I think that was the first thing I said to Don. I'm like, I haven't seen any of my friends in how long? And I'm like, and I'm sitting here with you. I'm like, because I'd rather come hang out with you, bud. I'm like, so this is what we're doing right now. We just sat on the couch, you know. Don had the game on, his sweet ass setup that he's got. The kids were watching, I think, like Despicable Me or something. And I'm like, you know what? You want to hear something funny, Jay? I left and I was beaming with like proud dadness and like proud awesomeness. Guess what I didn't do while I was at Don's house? What do I do all the time? What do I fucking do all the time, Jay?
Curse?
Mm-hmm. I didn't say one curse word.
Not one.
In front of the kids, because you know why? See, when I have to be in dad mode and when I have to turn it back and when there's young minds around, I can be an adult. So
Well,
see, if we ever see us out in an event, don't ever doubt us. I will not curse at your place of business.
Make it your New Year's resolution.
There you go.
Maybe you'll actually.
Man, I wish, dude. I wish I could make it my New Year's resolution, but it just flies out, man. Like, and I think that's the funny thing because even people at work, like, they just know. It's like Rich gives it to you straight, and he uses a lot of expletives. But I mean, it's just how it's the realness of my tone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like trying to hold like because sometimes I'm sitting there having meetings with families, and it slips out, and I'm like, I really apologize for cursing. But this is me, and I want you to know the sincerity and how genuine I am. Like, I'm not going to just speak in medical and layman's terms, like, to you guys. Like, I want to let you know, like, this shit is stupid. Like, you should not be doing this. Like, this is what they need to do. And they're like, no, I respect. And that's why I get along with a lot of people because I don't just try to be like, oh, yes, well, you know, this is what you need to do. It's like, no, I'm like, that's dumb. That's really stupid. And he needs to cut that shit.
I have to be honest with you. Part of what attracted me to your podcast in the beginning was absolutely the fact that you are real. And like you got, you know, obviously, Nick, I remember at the time when I first watched it, I think you had Nick, you had a couple other gentlemen on there that I don't, you know, obviously I don't know if they're still in the background, but
yeah,
when I first saw it, that was what attracted me to it because you guys are real. And it's the same thing with like Fired Up, like them guys, like, people that like sometimes over try, it's like you could just tell it's like not real.
Yeah,
I'd rather see real. You know, that's the aspect that I love. Like that's why I like sports and metal because Aaron and I, we go at it like because we're best friends and we've had fights on the show and it's like it makes for better entertainment.
And you guys have great stories. Like I just like listening to like yours and Aaron's stories, like because that draws me in. It's like, you're giving me like, you know, a real experience that you had and that you're sharing with us. And I'm like, this is cool. Like you see like the genuine side through different people. And it's like what you truly appreciate. And that's why, you know, that's why I love you guys. That's why, like, I wouldn't have had like when Don first messaged us. Okay. So now we're just getting off a tangent. So just F football for a little bit. But when Don first messaged us, cause I'm like, we're looking for a co-host. And Don's like, yeah, dude, I'll do it. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. And I'm like, I go to Chip. I'm like, yo, who's Don? And like, he's like, oh, Don's a great guy. He's a teacher. He's a friend of mine. Like, he's cool. And I'm like, all right, man. He's like, because we had that episode that I thought was great, that I thought was going to be great. The podcasters versus the non-Don. You were on that, right?
Yeah.
And see, this is how I didn't even remember Don, right? Because I hated that episode so much that I just blacked it out because the one guy just ruined it. Like he literally just got too bombed. And I'm like, I can't watch. Like it was something that I thought was going to be great and it was terrible. And I was not happy about it. And Chip was like, nah, Don's great. We had Don on. You could tell he was like starting to get comfortable. Like after the first episode, I'm like, Don's a great guy. And I think it was like me and Oscar, and Oscar's like, well, like, are we going to move forward with Don? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, he said he wanted to do it. If he's going to fucking do it, like, I'm keeping him with us. Like, I don't care at this point. And you can tell how, like, great Don has become. Like, he's overtaking it. He's fucking confident in what he does. And it's like, this is the reason, like, the great things that happen, you know, through just the connections in the world. Because Drunk on Broad wouldn't be Drunk on Broad without Don. Drunk on Broad and Drunk on Ice wouldn't be what it is without the contributions from you, Jason. And it wouldn't be the same way without Joe. And that's why I love what we do. I give Don all the credit in the world because without Don, I think this thing would have died months ago because I just wasn't into in the mental space to be able to control it. And I wanted nothing to do with Twitter. Still don't have anything to do with it. And Don was like, you know what? I'm going to write this shit. I'm going to take it to new heights. He hooked us up with Belly Up. So again, there you go. He hooked us up with the Fired Up guys. Thank you, gentlemen. And we were like the 4th most downloaded episode, me and Don, this year on Belly Up. That doesn't happen without Don. You know, like F me being like the host and like the goofy dude who says stupid shit and we'll get the occasional laugh. But like the guy who puts in all the effort and the time is Don. So I can give him all the credit because, like I said, this is my baby. And sometimes I'll go to Don like, you're doing a great job, but this is my show. This is what we're going to do. But everything else, Don's like, yo, I'm doing this. I'm like, dude, you do everything great. Like, I trust you. There's just some things where I'm just like, this is their direction. And you're leading us there. Let's just keep going. And it's like, you know, I have all the faith in the world in you guys. And that's what I wanted. And, you know, this is like our Christmas theme and the hope and the joy. Like, this is why I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Because I know I can reach out to Don and hang out with Don. And it was so funny because I text Oscar and I'm like, yo, Don was asking about you. I'm like, I met up with Don. He's like, dude, how was it? I'm like, oh, it was a great time. He's like, same dude is on the podcast. I'm like, same dude. I'm like, we just talked about sports. We talked about life and we hung out and it was a good time. I'm like, it was like sitting down with an old buddy who like I knew for like 30 years. Like, it wasn't weird. Wasn't all. He's like, yeah, man, come in. You want to sit down? I'm like, yeah, fucking right. I want to sit down. And we sat down. We talked. He offered me a drink. I was like, nah, I'm good. And we just hung out, shot the shit. I'm like, all right, dude, gotta go. Have a word. Chris Burr's like, all right, man, I'll see you later. I'm like, well, when do you want a podcast? Wednesday, Thursday? He's like, Wednesday. I'm like, all right, dude, cool. See you. Great time. Like best friends that you haven't seen in a while. And that's why I love the chemistry between all of us because it's real, it's genuine, it's not forced.
Yeah.
And that's something that like I truly do appreciate from you guys because this little thing that I had in my head years ago, I'm like, oh, it's the bar theme, it's this. And I remember having like, you know, Jessica Towns and Sam Wilson and Mark Farzetta and, you know, these guests like back before I met you guys. And I realized I don't need to talk to these people for validation. I want to hang out. I want to hang out with real people and fun people. I'm not saying they're not real people because they were awesome. They were great guests. And I've thanked them for being on the show. But I don't hear from them. I hear from you guys almost every day. That's what matters to me. I don't want that anymore. I just want to talk football and sports with my boys and enjoy what we do. And I think that's what you're getting from the 3 and the 4 of us.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I will tell you that like the feeling is insanely mutual. Like the connection and being able to like it legit felt like we had been friends for decades. And you know, the ease and the comfort and being able to have those conversations. And, you know, to be frank, you know, the conversations that we have after the show, there's a lot of realness that happens there that build that connection. And and it's incredibly important for us to be able to be there to support each other, but to have those friendships. And Jay, you and I have, you know, we've you know, bounced a ton of really, really difficult conversations off each other. And, you know, I'm insanely thankful for this and this opportunity to be able to have this friendship and have this opportunity to be able to just hang out with friends. Yeah. It means a ton.
I mean, you guys kind of, I don't know how I follow that up. I mean, all I could say is I'm honored that you guys allow me to bring my voice to your show. I mean, I'm so thankful that I met you guys. Like, I legit, you know, there's been times where I had some rough times and you guys have always been there for me. And like, it's just, it means a lot because honestly, sometimes like everything could be going wrong, but we have this.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like an hour or half hour to an hour of just having a good time with people that we know care about each other and have fun talking about what we love. And, we can actually have these kind of conversations and kind of go away from sports and not miss a beat, because that's not all our lives are focused on. Because let's face it, a lot of these podcasts, like, that's all they do is talk about sports, but like, there's real life issues too. Like, and we all know that because we've all been there. We've been in the mud, and we know. And, that's what I appreciate the most about you guys. And, when Don asked me about, you think your buddy Joe would be interested in a podcast? Like, I would have never thought, like, in a million years. Like, I am so proud of Joe, because, like, he was just some dude, like, that loves sports just like us. And, like, that's how Don started. Don was just a fan. And that's how a lot of us start. Like, honestly, like, a lot of times it's just having or wanting that voice, and to be able to have that voice, and like then you start realizing, oh my God, this is fun. Like, this is not a job. And I always said that, and that's what I say to Aaron. Like, and that's why there's been times where we've taken steps back. We've taken weeks off where we just needed a mental reset, because we told ourselves, like, once you start making this like a job, it's not fun anymore. No. And when you start getting to that point, you kind of got to reel yourself in and say, you know what? It's not about that. Like you were saying, yes, it's good. It's good to have good guests. I mean, we've had good guests. I've had Phil Sandoval from Armored Saint. Like, they were just touring with Wasp. Like, I've had great guests, but like, it's not about that. Like, you could have great guests, and yes, that could help the show. If you have an episode like that and it kind of gets it out to the masses. But at the end of the day, it's about this. It's exactly what it's about: friendship. So,
and that's the important part. I mean, it's the friendship aspect. Like, Mike is chiming in right now, but time to get real. Agreed. And Mike, we just broke the news that we're moving over to the Fired Up Network. So something that we're happy to be a part of, because Mike and Dom are friends of ours. It's like one of those awesome things that you get to go on a ride and go on somebody else's journey and make it a journey of your own. And this is like, I don't think there's been 3 people more who supported other people's podcasts more than us. And the recognition that we came up with the idea to support local podcasts and started pushing other people, even if they didn't push back. And that's when I told Don, okay, I think it's time to stop. And Don's like, nah, man, there's still some really good podcasts. And I'm like, okay. But, some people who I really didn't respect the way they talk to Don or talk to you, it's like, nah, dude, we cut them out, and, we worry about our people. And I think that's what we're doing. And, because let's be real, it's a community of a bunch of guys who like talking sports. We're not in it to get famous. Don still has his job. I got like fucking 4 jobs. Jay still got his job. I mean, we still have to, to do what we do and support each other, because it's what it's about, right?
We're all trying to get to the same place.
Yeah, we're all trying to get to the same place, and it's extremely hard to do that.
Yeah.
But it's just awesome that the conversations that we can have outside of football and outside of the Phillies and outside of, you guys doing Drunk on Ice or Drunk on the Court, which we honestly haven't done because we've been riding this Eagles high.
It's been hard. I was looking at the episodes the other day, and I'm like, all right, Eagles, emergency Phillies, Eagles. And so it's been hard. It's been hard to try to find time to squeeze it in. There's some things that we're just trying to do what we can do, but we're not trying to overextend ourselves. Like, if we can get it in, we'll get it in. If not, it just it just lends itself to being able to have a bigger conversation later.
Yeah. And gentlemen, I want to ask you guys, because it is Christmas themed, and it's time. It's almost there. Don's got the Mad Elf.
The only one to have tonight.
Yeah, that's it. One Mad Elf. Jay, this is so weird following up. Congratulations on your milestone, brother.
Oh,
that is extremely, extremely important. I am very proud of you.
Super proud.
One day at a time, brother. One step at a time. You're doing something that a lot of people could not do, and your podcast is just reaching so many people on another level. Like, I'm starting to tear up because I'm very proud of you, because I understand how hard it is for you. I lost a cousin years ago to addiction, and I saw how it ripped, his immediate family apart, and how, the trickle-down effects of everything. Yeah. And Jay, I'm extremely, extremely proud of you. I mean, you did something amazing, and you keep doing something amazing. Yeah. And that's all I can say is I love you, man.
Appreciate it.
Extremely proud. I mean, I was trying, Rich, I was going to save that that was going to be my final thought.
Yeah, I couldn't do it because I was like, I wanted to say it when he first came on, and then I'm like, I had my beer in my hand, and I'm like, then I was like, God. I'm like, well, there's no real easy way to get into this.
No.
So, but
no, I really do appreciate it. And, I guess my hope, that's why I always share it out, that I just hope that I can help more people. And a lot of times I know that I am helping just by putting my story out there. But, I always say, like, my DMs are definitely open, like, for anybody that's struggling. And I say it not just with addiction, the mental health aspect, which is just as important, because a lot of times they go hand in hand. Most people that have addictions struggle with some type of mental health issue, and vice versa. Most people that have mental health issues end up doing drugs or drinking. So usually goes hand in hand. And, it's while it is a milestone, it's also a time, every time the anniversary comes up, it's definitely a time to reflect and remind yourself that, you're only as good as one day at a time, because you can easily slip up. I mean, it takes is one time, and you can just be right back into it. So, yes, it is a great milestone, and I am super proud of it, because it's one of those things, like, you could do 100 things, but when you do something like that, that's like really, like, you have to remind yourself how important and how hard that actually is to do, because not just anybody can do it.
Yeah.
A lot of it takes, you have to be able to realize that you do have a problem, because most people that don't get help, that's the reason they don't get help, is because they don't think that they have a problem. Right. I actually ended up being lucky, because I basically got put in a situation where it was almost like I was forced to get help. Like, I was in jail. Like, I was legit, I could have been in prison for 3 years for assaulting a police officer. Like, I had to get help. Like, I was forced to do it. But a lot of people don't have that moment where they hit that super low. So they tend to just keep doing what they're doing, because people might tell them, oh, you have a problem. But unless you in your own heart know that you have a problem, you're not going to get the help. And it's unfortunate. And that's why a lot of people relapse too, because they get the help, and then as soon as they get out, they don't have a support.
Yeah.
I also was lucky with that. I went to a super, super good rehab in Florida, where, thank God, I was able to afford, well, my insurance, took care of it. But I was in a rehab that was run by Vance Johnson, who was a former NFL wide receiver from the Denver Broncos. Guy, and I'll never forget when he spoke to our group, that particular, group, when I was in that rehab. I mean, his story, like, every time you think you have a story and then you hear someone else's story, I mean, it's like, oh my God, like, mine is like peanuts compared to that. And, like, his story was so powerful that it almost, like, after I heard that story in rehab, that like basically set me on the path where I was like, I am not going to fucking drink again. I am not going to do it. Because his story, I mean, I obviously I'm not going to tell it, but, like, hearing somebody have a story that powerful, like, that's when like, oh my God, like, this is legit. And then when I got out, of rehab, I did 90 meetings in 90 days. So I was legit at a meeting every single day for 90 days. And that's what it took. It took that kind of dedication, that kind of being consistent, to kind of get to where I'm at. I don't go to meetings all the time now. Occasionally I'll go back, but in the beginning, it's super, super important because you have to get over that hump. And, you know, I always tell people, like, you got to remind yourself. That's why these anniversaries are important, because every time it comes up, even though I'm sharing it out and I'm proud of it, I also tell myself, like, you know, that's why it's important, because I could very easily just be off the barrel and back to doing that, and that won't be good. So I just remind myself of that. And everyone has their own way that they can, like, you know, you come up with a system and your own, like, you know, playbook to kind of, you know, battle it. But I always just tell myself, like, I always picture a casket and myself in the casket. That's how I basically stay away from drinking. Because I tell myself, if I go to drink, regardless if it's one beer, that's where I'll be. And I also remind myself that there's other people that are counting on me. Whether I might not think that I have a ton of people that care about me, a lot of people sometimes think that. Like, in your own mind, you might think, oh my God, I don't have a lot of friends. You know, my family doesn't really talk to me. And they might think, oh, nobody cares. You would be surprised at the amount of people that actually care about you, but you just don't know it, because they're not telling you every 5 seconds, I care about you. But whether it's your animals, your pets, who are just as important as humans, they care and they count on you. So I remind myself of that every day, and that's how I kind of get through it. So
yeah. I mean,
I didn't mean to go on a tangent.
Nah, dude.
Listen,
this is a whatever we want to make it tonight. And Jay, your words are powerful, and you know
it's important. It's important to talk about, because it gives insight into, like you're talking about someone who had a story that was a lot different than yours, right? But it kind of gives people the insight and the idea that, like, at any point in time, regardless of what level you feel like you're at, that the ability to be able to overcome that adversity is there. Yeah. So, like, it's incredibly powerful. And, you know, I actually, Lacey and I were sharing that with, family friends of ours who are also, in recovery too. And, that idea that being able to share that story and being able to share that with somebody else, kind of, it allows them to know that community of support is there. So incredibly proud of you, brother.
I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
My question to you guys before I went into that was, it's Christmas time. What is your favorite Christmas memory?
Wow.
Or just some, like, a good little story that sticks out for you guys for Christmas? Because I always like hearing the Christmas stories.
Rich, I was 1990. I was 10, and we got a Nintendo.
So have you watched 8-Bit Christmas with the kids?
They're down there watching it now.
Have you watched it, Don?
I saw like the first 40 minutes of it.
Fucking bawled my eyes out. Great movie. It's so good.
I'm looking forward to circling back on it.
It's
so we got, we were hounding for it for months and months and months and months and months, and then we calmed down, and we had kind of thought that was, like, on the horizon, because my dad would always just make these little comments about, like, I'm not getting that for you. You guys can go outside and play. You don't need. But we get down, and he had already had it set up in the basement, and it was the one that had, like, it had the track mat, it had the duck hunt, and, like, I can't tell you, like, so many good memories of being there with, like, both my brothers, and, like, I won't say that, like, there weren't a couple controllers that didn't go upside somebody's head when, like,
there was.
You're playing, playing RBI baseball, and who was Jim Rice, right? We would play for hours, but it was great, and I just remember it was an insane gift, because we were like, it was the thing that all three of us wanted.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very cool.
Jay, what do you got?
I would probably have to say I don't really have a lot of childhood memories because a lot of that stuff got blocked out because of the whole situation. But I would probably say the biggest memory I have of Christmas, like on a good note, and it kind of ties into sports, was in 2006 when the Eagles clinched against Dallas on Christmas.
It's funny.
I remember.
It's funny you bring that up, Jay. I was going to talk about that. Go ahead.
No, it's just I remember watching the game, and it was like, obviously like, a big deal because it was we clinched the playoff spot, and it was against Dallas, so that's why it was so big for me.
It's very prophetic that you say that because I was going to talk about that. Like it's a backup quarterback going into Dallas with the opportunity to be able to clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah.
And to quote the famous philosopher quarterback Jeff Garcia, "Merry Christmas, Philadelphia." No, it just like that was really cool. That was a really cool moment. Rich, what about you?
You all right, Jay? You there?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to jump off at like 5 minutes because I'm actually guesting on a Dallas Eagles debate podcast.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, bud.
You guys can check that out after. But yeah, I texted it in the message, but I didn't know if you guys saw it. And
I'm not even on there.
I didn't want to just like jump off and you guys be like, "What the hell, Jay do?"
Yeah, Jay's just jumping on, jumping off. He's important. Jay's got things to do.
You got things to do. But Jay, next time
he's repping us.
Next time you're on with us, brother, it's going to be on the Fired Up Podcast Network.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Episode 100, that. Baby. Episode 100. Don's going to put together a reel of me.
I was just going to say we should do something special for it since it's a 100th episode.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get Nick and
Oscar.
Oscar to pop back. Yeah, that'd be cool.
We should try.
We should. I'm gonna message him after this and be like, "Yo, we need you." But yeah, my favorite Christmas memory, man. I don't know, man. Like there's a lot of good ones and there's a lot of hard ones. But my favorite probably, I think it was like 18 or 19. I was 19 when I used to sleep over in my best friend's house because he had younger sisters and they still believed in Santa Claus. So like there was an age gap between my buddy and his little sisters. Like we're 33 and I think his youngest sister just turned 18 and graduated high schools and college. So there was a nice gap. So she was young. And I remember he was like telling me like, "Oh yeah, like times are tough at like my house, like my mom losing her job and like my stepdad's working super hard." And I'm like, "All right." And I was always over there. Like they're like my second family. They still are. Like I love them to death. And he was telling me this. And I remember like sitting there and my grandpa died, I think, a year before on Christmas morning, like early hours Christmas morning. So I hated Christmas for the longest time. And I didn't want to be at my house because it was just like sad. Everybody got drunk at like 10 o'clock and it was just like, it wasn't fun. It's like not an environment you want to really be at. I'm like, I want the Christmas joy. And I always, every Christmas, like for 4 years, I slept over there on Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, woke up and they opened gifts. And it was like my favorite thing. I'd go to like Dunkin' Donuts, get bagels for having me sleep over. Like me and my buddy would sleep like in the bunk beds. He'd be on top. I'd be at the bottom. They'd come wake us up and then like wake the parents up and we'd watch them open gifts. And it was just fun.
That's cool.
So, there was tough times. So like I told my family, I'm like, let's, fuck exchanging gifts this year. Like let's get them stuff. I think we spent like over $1,000 just like on stuff. Like, and just like, I brought it, like everybody went to bed. They put their gifts out. And then like I came in like at 3 o'clock in the morning, like ran to my car, like loaded up the thing. And it's like, it's one of those things like nothing was said, it just was kind of like there was no like thank, awesome. Like it was just unspoken, it was like you do it for the kids, but we did fuck up because we got an iPod deck and me and my buddy were supposed to buy the iPod. We never bought the iPod. So it was just basically a useless. They're like, well, his sister was like, "What's this for?" And we're like, I'm like, man, we forgot the fucking iPod, dog. But it was fun, man. Like, we always,
That's
like, I
awesome,
keep
dude.
saying, Christmas is like, the giving and the hope, right? You do it for the kids. It's the hope part of it, right? That things will get better. And they're doing amazing now. Everything's good in everybody's world. And that's what I love. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the small things that will last. And as we always say, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And everybody's doing great now on all aspects. It's those little things, man. And that's like, we got to like keep telling each other, adopt a family, like do that shit at work if it's there, or just, go out of your way. The other day I was like at Dunkin' Donuts and I was just like, there's two people behind me. I'm like, yo, whatever these two people got, just on me. I'm like, I don't even care. I'm like,
Yeah, you
it
don't.
wasn't much, but it was
You
just
don't
like,
have to do much. It's just even one thing. Like that's why I said last time last time I joined you guys is that even just saying something nice to somebody can make their day.
Yeah.
It's not even, you don't have to buy somebody lavish gifts. I mean, we get it that people right now are struggling financially. I mean, with the friggin', inflation, I mean, groceries friggin' $200 for a family of two.
Yeah. We all feel that, bro.
You ain't kidding.
It's just, it's the little things. And then Chris over here asked us, I know Jay's going to bounce out. So Jay, Chris wants to know, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite Christmas movie, real quick before I bounce out, I actually love Christmas with the Cranks.
Christmas with the Cranks is a funny movie.
Okay.
It is a funny ass movie.
I don't know what it is about it. For some reason that movie always makes me, laugh my ass off. I love Elf too. I just watched Elf again today.
I know. We just finished it up with Ollie.
It's just one of them movies that and it hits you at the heart. It's not just
so
funny.
good.
Exactly.
It's just so good.
Yeah, they're my two favorite. But
Don?
hey guys.
Yeah, I'm an Elf and Home Alone kid. That's just.
Hold on, Don. Hold on. Jay.
No, I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
You and your families. And I will see you on the 100th episode. I will be
man.
there.
See you next year, brother.
We'll be in touch, guys. Love you guys. Thank you.
I love you, man. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Be good. Have fun. Rep us hard.
You got it. We're going down. Dallas is going down.
Fuck Dallas. Always. It's always fuck Dallas. Remember that.
Fuck them boys.
Fuck them boys. Later, Jay.
Later, brother. Take care. Oh, Rich.
You gotta take those things off the side.
Yeah.
So I can see your pretty face.
There we go. Adam, I'm with you on that, brother. Paying it forward, right? Anytime you can spread that good karma around, especially this time of year, brother. It's all good stuff.
Yeah.
It's all great, man.
All good stuff, Adam. But Don, Home Alone and Elf, you can't beat it.
No, and listen, there's Christmas Vacation is on the short list. Fred Claus, the Santa Claus is.
You are a Fred Claus guy. I'm a
Fred Claus guy.
You are a Fred Claus guy.
The Vince Vaughn, the people helping people.
Man, people help people. People help people.
Don't give your money to that fat guy down there. Bring action. Bring that action down here. Oh my God! It's just that there's and I love the relationship that he has with the little kid in his building.
Yeah,
it's just a cool movie. But listen, anything this time of year that is a movie that kind of puts you in the right mood, man. Whatever it is, it's all good stuff.
We watched Spirited the other night, and I truly enjoyed it.
That's on the list. So
that was great. And Don, all I have to say is good afternoon. You'll understand when you watch the movie.
Gotcha.
It's a really good movie, and that was one that I truly enjoyed out of like Christmas movies like coming out like recently. I'm an Elf guy, Christmas Vacation guy. I like the original Santa Claus. I love the all the animated movies. They all stick out to me. It's just like one of those things I could watch them all the time. I love the Grinch. The Grinch, the Tim Curry. That's it. The Jim Carrey Grinch. It's always one that always hits me, and it's one that I always enjoy. Just makes me laugh every single time I see it. But Christmas is a great time, and that's why I don't care that this show got off the rails because,
Listen, we beat the Cowboys.
Yeah,
we'll beat the Cowboys on Saturday, and enjoy Christmas. We'll enjoy that holiday. I mean, they like for a game that they only end up winning by 5 points. They sure put up a lot of the stats were pretty impressive. That 2 receiver 100-yard, both having 100 yards. AJ Brown with 181, Devontae Smith with 126, and a lot of those yards came after Jalen Hurts got injured too. So, they were in a game where they looked lackluster at the beginning. They pulled it all together. They were able to pull out the win. They won a game that they were supposed to win in a game that, to be honest, for most of the game looked like they had no business winning. So, defense looked really impressive. 6 sacks. They're gonna have, Rich. They have the potential to have 4 guys have 10+ sacks.
Yeah, which is insane.
Which is wild. So,
Hassan Reddick has been one of the best signings in Howie's past. Vernon Hargraves, not Vernon Hargraves. Javon Hargraves is going to be expensive next season, and I hope we can keep him. But that boy going to be expensive, and it's going to be tough. But
that's why I think they're kind of in it to win it this year.
Yeah, we need to get this Super Bowl and see what we can do. Reddick is a freak, Mike. I agree with you 1,000%. I think Dallas has that great running attack, but as Shady McCoy said, "Yo, man, Dak, he ass.
That segment was hysterical.
I love when the guy was like, "Well, what about quarterback rank or quarterback rating?" He's like, "Bro, are you watching the game with 2 eyes? I got 2 eyes." He's like, "I got 2 eyes. You watch with 2 eyes?" He's like, "Yes." He ain't even making the passes in tight windows. Yes. And the guy was like, "What about this?" He's like, "Man, you keep throwing these numbers." Of course, number 9. He's like, "Are you watching the same games?" Like, Dak is ass. Which Dak is ass. They should have lost back-to-back games to terrible teams.
Yeah.
Like, bro, Houston intercepted you at the 4, and Houston shot themselves in the foot because they're fucking terrible.
Yeah.
You're lucky they were a bad team. You do that against a good team. You do that against the Eagles, they score. You do that against fucking anybody else, they score.
Yeah.
Like, come on. That's like New England did that dumb shit with
good God. Rich,
lateral back, and then Jacoby Myers is like, "Yo, I'm going to throw it to nobody," and game's over. When only thing Ramondre Stevenson had to do was just go down.
Chandler Jones, that game was fucking bonkers.
That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. But yes, Don, what's your big play and your final score?
Oh, big play. Let's see. I think it's going to be a game where they focus on the run. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go Sanders. I'm going to say Sanders goes for 100 plus. 100 plus. Maybe he gets. I think he gets 2 total tutties. I think maybe he gets 1 on the ground, one on a pass. 28, 21. I think it's a 1-score game.
Yeah. I'm going to say 24-23 Eagles, last minute field goal by Jake Elliott. But my guy is the returning tight end, Dallas Goedert, 12 for 146 and 2.
Ooh.
Because Gardner Minshew loves himself some Dallas Goedert. And Dallas Goedert's coming back. As we always say, it's always fuck Dallas because that's just what it is. And I think that's what's going to be 24-23.
Okay.
We win, last second field goal. And, we clinch the division. We clinch the first round bye, right? Because we win, we clinch the first round bye.
Any combination, the magic number is 1.
Yeah.
So any combination of an Eagles win or a Dallas loss.
We clinch
it's
that first round bye, baby. And that's what we need.
And then the road to the Super Bowl, the road to Glendale comes through South Philly, and we get any of those teams that we're really if I got to play San Fran and I got to play them at home in January, I like my chances, especially if
I do as well.
If
Adam, with the confidence, 2 scores, Adam. I like the confidence, Bubs. I like it.
Fuck them boys.
Fuck them boys. Don, take us in, brother. Take us in.
Final thoughts. Listen, I think the whole episode was a final thoughts. Seems like a final thoughts, but like, really, truly, again, thank you to Belly Up. Thank you for everything that they've done for us. The doors and opportunities that they've kind of created for us throughout this last year. But thank you to everybody that's kind of helped us along the way. We've had a lot of guests on. We've had a lot of people hop on for different things. We have our whole podcast community of people that have hopped on to the Golden Mike League, which I want to touch on before we roll out. But it's just a genuine thank you. It's a great season to be thankful for a lot of stuff, and I'm just thankful for a lot of friendships, a lot of community people that have made this journey a really cool one. So
go ahead, Don, touch on the Golden Mike before I do my final thoughts.
All right. So I invested
I'll be right back.
I invested in a little hardware. So the winner of the Golden Mike League is going to take home the Golden Mike trophy. Now, I know the apologies go out to Britt. We're a year late on getting the trophy, so we're going to figure out something. But the winner of the Golden Mike League, we're going to send this out. You're going to keep it for the calendar year, and then you'll send it back when we start the league over again. Now, as a quick parting gift to kind of partner up with our friends at Losing Sucks, the person who finishes in second place is going to get a T-shirt. And that T-shirt is going to have the brand of our partner, Losing Sucks. Don't do it. So if you come in second place, you are getting a T-shirt that says Losing Sucks. Don't do it. If you win, you are getting the official Drunk on Broad Golden Mike League Fantasy Football Champion Trophy.
Britt, we didn't forget about you.
We did. We're going to figure something out.
We're going to figure something out so you get that trophy first and take pictures with it and do your thing because you deserve it. You were the first. You were the inaugural champ. So we are figuring it out to get it to you and then maybe get it back halfway through or at the end of the year and give it to next year's winner and just so on and so forth. Because that's what we do here.
Hey, listen, Rich, we might be sending it to Britt regardless.
I think we should send it to Britt regardless because she's probably going to win it.
Well, she's playing in the semifinal. She's playing Nick.
Beat Nick. Fuck Nick. Beat Nick.
In the other semifinal, we got our buddy Chip. Chip from the Birds is taking on Joe.
Yeah, my man drafted fucking Jonathan Taylor 1 overall. I laughed at him, and I laughed my way out of the playoffs. Thanks for Shot Bateman's stupid-ass trades I made. God, it was a bad year. Such a bad year. Don't listen to experts, except Losing Sucks.
Oh, God.
See that good plug?
Love it. Rich, what do you got for final thoughts here,
man?
brother?
Final thoughts. Phew, I love Christmas. Christmas was rough for a few years. Love you too, Mike. Love you too, buddy.
Yep.
We are moving on. Moving on to my final thoughts. Christmas sucked for a while. Losing my grandpa. Not a day goes by that I don't think about him. He was the embodiment of Christmas and happiness and all of that. So you kind of cherish those relationships and stuff while you have them. But, Christmas hit different 4 years ago. Finding out my wife was pregnant and giving out the Christmas ornaments to, the grandparents with just baby on it. And they're like, oh, we got you this ornament. And it's like, what? Like, what? And it's like, yeah, we're expecting. And it's like the happiness and the love and, and for 4 years, my little man's brought all that for me. And I love the Christmas movies and like reminiscing and like going through like my childhood stuff. And like, I recently got back into Pokemon cards. So it's like me and him, like I'm spending way too much money on it because it's so much fun. Like him opening up packs and like, Dad, look at this one. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like taking all the good ones and sleeving them. And like, this is going to be for you later on in life, and you need some cash. And it's just like, it just triggers so many good memories in the holidays and how excited he is. And like, Santa's coming and, it's that faith and that spark and that joy that you long for.
Yeah.
That, doesn't last forever with the young kids. but it's just so much fun because it brings that back to life and the happiness and those mornings when you were a kid and you fucking run, you'd go to the bathroom and you'd walk to you'd be facing the wall to get to the bathroom and like, I can't look. And It's like, you're just so excited and you couldn't sleep. And it's hope, man. It's faith.
It really is.
You really hope that people can help each other and you can be kind for a few days. And I wish Christmas was all year round because you get that feeling in the air. And I don't know what it is, man. It is sort of magical.
It really is.
The endorphins run high and it's over in a flash and it sucks because everything comes crashing down because everything that didn't matter for that month comes back to matter. And this is why I loved my new philosophy after watching Bill Murray's the Bill Murray stories. Nothing really matters. It's just being a good person. And yeah, it sucks when you're worried about retirement. It sucks when you're worried about money. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. Because when you go, it's gone. It doesn't matter. What matters is the lasting impact you make on others and the world. Nobody cares how much money you had during retirement. Nobody cared about how beautiful your house is when you're gone. It's the lasting impression of the kindness and the going out of your way to do things for people and advocating for your students at school, advocating for your patients at work, advocating for your customers. That's the shit people remember. It's the relationships of being kind and just making people laugh and treating them like humans.
Yep.
That's what's remembered, not all the other shit. And that's why we need to stop focusing on that and just focusing on, as we always say, being good people, being a good human.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Don, I love you, brother. Merry Christmas. We will see all of you in the new year. I'm excited for what's to come with the Fired Up guys and the network and seeing what we can do there. Belly Up, thank you so much. As always, you stuck around, you fucked around, you found out. It's Christmas, and I have a bunch of fucks to give. So fuck you, Deshaun. Fuck you, Spike Eskin. Fuck you, Davion Taylor. Merry Christmas to Adam. Merry Christmas, Mike. Merry Christmas, Chris. Merry Christmas from the whole Drunk on Broad crew. To you, Philly, I wish you all a safe and happy holidays and a fantastic new year. We will talk to you after New Year for episode 100. We love you. Thank you for the support. Without you guys, especially Adam and Chris and Mike and everyone who's out there listening and watching, thank you. It's always fuck Dallas.
Always.
Go Birds. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
This is the Broad Street Line, where Philly sports fans leave all of their sports hot takes. Call 267-405-3062 and show us your passion for Philly sports. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday at 8:30 when we listen to your live reactions to the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat.
Von C. Brewing Company is a 20-barrel, 16,000-square-foot microbrewery with a 2,500-square-foot tasting room, including a spacious outside beer gardens in Norristown, PA, in the heart of Montgomery County. The Von C. family is part of the family that started C. Schmidt and Son Brewing in 1860. Stop in Wednesday through Sunday and taste a variety of draft and 16-ounce cans of originally brewed beer and tell them the Drunk on Broad crew sent you. Von C. Brewing is located at 1210 Stenbridge Street, Suite 300 in Norristown. Cheers.
Team Clicks are the only glasses for real sports fans. With interchangeable arms, you can support all of your favorite teams, or even make and create custom options as well. These die-hard sports fans have realized that sports fans needed something other than face paint to show their love and passion for their teams. Go to teamclicks.com/DOB and show your love for your hometown teams.
Latour's curated collection of men's and women's watches is a perfect investment that lasts for years to come and fits perfectly with your every outfit and style. Our range of classic watches aren't just a great perfect formal and casual accessory, but a time machine that takes you back to memories. Explore our collection of timeless watches that can reflect your taste, personality, and personal style. Our exclusive collection of carefully curated, affordable luxury watches is what you need to make a personalized style statement. You can take pride in your prized possession, handing it over to the next generations as your most loved asset that they can also own and display with the same pride. These high-quality pieces stand the test of time, giving exceptional value and return on your investment. Those are locked. Tour at AIM.com and use code DOB at checkout and get 10% off.
If you're looking for unique sports apparel, check out Streaker Sports. They've dug deep into the archives and have brought back some incredible defunct team logos and have even created entire defunct league collections. They also have collections paying homage to sports culture, including the Miracle on Ice, Slap Shot, Caddyshack, the Mighty Ducks, and even have a license with Wiffle Ball and USA Hockey. Only for Drunk on Broad listeners, use code BROAD at checkout to get 10% off anything at streakersports.com. Again, that's 10% off anything at streakersports.com with discount code BROAD.